morning. Oh, it's 10:10. 10:10. Ting, ting. Happy Saturday, everybody. Happy Saturday. So, I usually don't do Saturday videos, but I had to come out here to Long Beach to pick up something that I saw online that I wanted. So I just came out here to pick it up. You know, my first time actually buying something from Facebook Marketplace, I think it is. It's a little table for my my little hydrogen machine that I got, and so that's why I came out here. So anyway, the drive is about 45 minutes, so it gives me enough time to make a video. So today I want to talk about brokenness and being wealthy. Is wealthiness a word? I should have Googled that before. I don't remember if it is. Brokenness and wealthiness. Well, depending upon whether or not it's a word, will depend on if I put it in the description in the title box. Anyway, so that's what I want to talk about. I want to talk about why you experience that, why we experience that, and why wealthy people experience wealthiness. This is gonna get me. This is really gonna get me this whole video. So wealth. I do just say wealth. How's that? Wealth. I know that's a word. So I think I'm taking the 405 all the way. Oh, that'd be great. I don't have to like switch freeways or anything. Just one freeway all the way through. Perfect. All right. So, yeah. Okay. So why do people feel or experience a different reality, meaning a different manifestation in their life? Why is it that some people can experience wealth in their reality and some people experience brokenness in their reality? Well, the reason why this is because of what is rooted within the soul. Understand that every manifestation must grow from something. All right? But let's go back just a little bit and understand that brokenness and wealthiness is a mindset. It is a mindset, and it's something that is it's something that comes from the depths of your soul. It comes from your soul. And remember, I don't know if you remember, if you've listened to the previous videos that I made about I don't know what I titled it, but I was talking about unworthiness, how to feel worthy, how to feel worthy. And I was talking about how you have the incoming thought and the outcoming thought, but beyond that, beyond the thought, there's an emotion, there's a feeling, and that emotion and feeling is what the soul is experiencing. The mind is experiencing the thought. All right. The mind is what is creating the thought or allowing the thought to happen. The emotion and the feeling is where the soul comes into play and becomes a part of the thought. So remember how I said, whatever thought comes in, at that point you have the power to change your outgoing thought, because it's the thought. It's the emotion that the thought is going to be attached to. So if you accept the incoming thought of negativity, then you're going to attach a negative emotion to that thought. And that's going to become the cycle, which then becomes your belief. The thing is let me stay on that for a minute. So this is why you have people who have experienced wealth for generations, and people who have experienced brokenness for generations because of the soul transference of because of what's in the soul that's transferred. Now, this is where things are seated and seeded within the soul. All right. So as you know, the soul is what transfers. Let's say your parents are about to conceive, and this is where things of the soul get transferred to you as a child. Now this is where wealthy people transfer things into their children that are associated with wealth.
Weather alert. High wind warning in about 25 miles from current location.
Okay, thank you. So here's the thing. This is why you have generations and generations and generations of people being broke. And this is why you have generations and generations of people being wealthy. You've heard it before. Oh, they come from a long line of money. Oh, they come from a long line of poverty. But these are all mindsets. But these mindsets come from one thing and one thing only, and that is the seed that is planted within your soul. Understand the soul. The soul is the soil, okay? That's all the soul is. It's the soil to help things grow. But we have to decide what we, okay, no signal in my lane. But what we have to do is decide what type of seeds do we want to put in our soil. That's what we have to decide. And here's the thing. When we are conceived, these seeds are already planted in our soil, meaning they're already planted within our soul. Which is why we keep repeating the same things generation after generation after generation. Because it's like grandma saying, oh, look, I like daffodils. I grow daffodils, so because I like daffodils, this has been my experience, I'm going to plant them in your garden, and they're going to grow. And it's like they're not asking you if you want it or not. They're just automatically putting it there because that's all they have to give. Because they focused on daffodils, or your parents or whoever focused on daffodils. They harnessed it. They made it grow, and therefore when they have a child, that's all they have to give them. Because like I said before, you can only give what you have to give. You cannot give what you do not have to give. This is why it's so important to understand what's within your soul, because what's within your soul is what you're giving your children. So if your children are struggling, it's because you gave them the seeds that will grow into struggles. That's it. That's all they can manifest, is that pain and suffering and struggle. Brokenness, poverty. If this is what you have, this is what you've experienced, this is what you have to give. That's it. It's that plain and simple. But it's important to not have any emotions attached to that. Do not have any emotions attached to that. Because it's a thought. When you look at your reality, when you look at something that's happening in the moment, you're looking at it, it's something that you're observing, and now you're having a thought about it. That thought has an emotion attached to it. You look at your bills that you have in your mail, and you have a feeling attached to that. You have a thought, you look at your bills, you have a thought, you're like, oh my gosh, all these bills. And then you have a thought, which is worry, which is a lack of being able to pay those bills. And then that recycles over and over and over, and it becomes a belief. You understand? So this is why it's so important to look at your reality and understand that it's there. Understand the process of your parents giving you what they have given you, but understand they have given you their reality. They have given you their emotional experience because that's all they have to give you. But if you're listening to this video and you have the understanding that you have, and you've gained the clarity that you've gained by listening to my videos and other videos about other topics and other subjects, you then have the power to be different than your parents. This is what you focus on. Because just that thought alone, that you have the ability to be better than, to be different than, to manifest a different experience, is a feeling of positivity. It's a feeling of freedom. It's a feeling of expansion. It's a feeling of opening the gate to the cage that you've been locked in for so long. You're opening the gate. Now all you have to do is walk through the gate, out of the cage, so that you can have a different experience. An experience that is outside of the cage that you've been living in for so long. You dig? I love this stuff. Get it, Zachary. So when we look at abundance, and we look at, or when we look at wealth, and when we look at poverty, and when we look at I should say, when we look at brokenness, when we look at wealthiness, when we look at poverty, this is all, like I said, the mindset. But what the parents have given us, for the most part, if you've come from a long line of not having, it's the feeling of scarcity. Scarcity is something that dwells within those who experience brokenness and poverty. Abundance is something that people experience wealth and abundance of many different things, because it's the feeling of abundance. It's the feeling of having. It's the feeling of, depending on what it doesn't matter what it is. The thing is, it's abundance. Abundance in what? Well, there's different things. There's abundance in love. There's abundance in money. There's abundance in health. There's abundance in just different things that you experience in your life. It could be an abundance of success, meaning you're always praised for doing what you're doing. You're always recognized for the great work that you do. Depending on where your abundance lies, will determine the manifestation that you get in regards to the topic or the subject at hand, depending on what it is. You can't just say, oh, I have abundance, I want abundance, I want abundance. You must be very clear in what you feel you have abundance about or of. Do you have abundance about money or of money? Do you have abundance of health? What do you have abundance in? Looks? Because your body can change, people. You can look more beautiful if you want to. Some people have an abundance in youth. Okay, if that's a thought, because that is one of my thoughts. Hello. I do not subscribe to getting old. I do not subscribe to that. That's why I don't have any crow's feet. That's why I don't have any wrinkles. Because that's not what I have abundance in terms of, I'm sorry, that's not what I have scarcity in. Woo!
There's an 8-minute slowdown caused by construction in 4 miles.
Oh, Lord Jesus, that woke me up. If I was asleep, I ain't no more. Anyway, that I don't have scarcity in that area. I have abundance in that area, abundance of youth. When I wake up in the morning, I jump up. Hello, good morning. That's how I do it. When I look in the mirror, as soon as I step out of the shower, I always smile at myself. That's something that I do. It's not something that I force myself to do, but it just feels so good doing it. Smiling at me. Smiling back at myself. Like, that's what I do. Like, every single time I step out of the shower, especially in the morning, it's because the way my mirror is, as soon as I pull back the shower curtain, the mirror's there and I'm looking at myself. And as soon as I do it, as soon as I pull back the curtain and I reach for my towel, I look in the mirror and I just smile at myself. A great big smile. That's what I do. That's how I greet myself. Just like that. Like, yes, you're fresh, you're young, you're youthful, you're vibrant. That's what I do. None of this, oh, I gotta get up, I gotta do this, I gotta take a shower, I gotta get ready, I gotta put my clothes on. Oh my gosh, I wish I didn't have to get up and do all this stuff today. Like, that is not who I am. But there are people who wake up just like that. There are people who wake up in pain. There are people who wake up not being grateful for their life. I love life. Are there days that I'm tired? Absolutely. But I'm not tired every day. I'm tired only when I overextend myself, and I know when I do that, and I'm like, okay, Zach, you gotta take it easy. You gotta take it easy. You're running yourself thin. You gotta slow it down, brother. Slow it down. But that's something that, that you have to be mindful and aware of. And the reason why those things happen is because there's scarcity in youth. There's scarcity in health. There's scarcity in well-being. There's scarcity in self-love. There's scarcity in appreciation. There's scarcity. This is the root that I'm talking about. This is what dwells within your soul, which then grows and touches. It's like if you plant this seed of scarcity, or you plant this seed of abundance. Picture it like a tree. And let's plant this seed. Let's plant this seed in your root chakra. That's so funny. Sorry, ladies. Let's plant this seed in your root chakra. And just picture this tree seed, right? Abundance or scarcity, whichever one you're deciding to let in your soul. Let's put it there. All right, it's there because your soul is the fertile ground that it needs to grow. Your soul is the fertilization that makes things grow or makes things manifest within your life. All right, your soul, the contents that you put in your soul. So just if you can look at your soul like dirt, like soil. All right, and sometimes you can try to plant seeds, but they won't grow. You can try to plant seeds of abundance, but they won't grow because your soul has to be the perfect, just like plants and trees and flowers and all that stuff. Each species needs a certain condition in order to grow. Okay? They need that certain condition in order to grow. So sometimes we can attempt to put these seeds in there. We can use our mind and say, you know, I'm love, I'm light, I'm love, I'm light, whatever. You know, unicorns and hearts and stuff. You can do all this stuff. But if the soil is not the right condition for that, meaning if it's a loving experience that you want to happen, and we do want these things to happen, we do want to experience love, we do want to experience joy, we do want to experience happiness, we want to experience all these things that feel good, we want the pleasures, we want to experience these things. So it's not that we don't want them, we do want them, but a lot of times we don't have the proper fertile ground to support that which we want to grow. There are some plants that cannot grow in acidic ground. It can't do it. But there are some things that can grow in acidity. I think a cactus is one of them. and so going back to the point that I was going to make, when you plant that seed in your soul, it's going to take root. And so the things that we see manifest in our life come from the things that we have planted within our soul. That's where it comes from. So what has taken root in your soul that is now growing up from your root chakra, up, expanding, having branches going left and right, touching other aspects of our soul, all right? Other aspects of our existence, other aspects of our being. And you can see it because the manifestation are the branches and the leaves, the thorns and whatever. Some are flowers if it's love. Some are thorns if it's not. So this is what's growing, and this is what you can see, because this is the manifestation of the seed that you have planted. And depending on how long it's been there will determine how long you will be experiencing this. Because what you have to do is, like emotional injuries, people, because that's what this stuff is, emotional injuries. You need to pluck that out. Sometimes we were like, okay, I don't want to experience this anymore. I don't like the way this looks. I don't like the way my life looks. I don't like the manifestations that are happening. Let's chop the tree down. And so you try to wipe out all your manifestations. You look for things to wipe it out. You look for a quick fix to wipe it out, wipe it out, wipe it out. And wiping it out just means you're taking a chainsaw and you're cutting the leaves, you're cutting the branches, you're cutting the trunk. Some people will do this. Some people will do a complete reorganization of their life. They'll wipe out everything in their life. They'll give up their house, or give up their car. They'll move to a completely different place, a different place in the world, a different place in the country. And because they chopped it all down, they no longer have the manifestations that were present in their life. All right? But what they don't realize is that the stump is still there. The root is still there in their soul. And the way this universe is set up, life will find a way. Like, things that are alive will find a way. If darkness is alive within you, it will find a way. It will find a way to come back. If it's rooted within your soul, there's always a possibility for it to come back. And it will come back. It's not until you release it, you pull that tree out from the roots, from the soil, from the soul. You must release it from the soul. If not, the stump is still there. It's still there. It's like a palm tree. Those things just grow anywhere and everywhere. A crack. If there's some dirt, those palm tree seeds will just grow anywhere. I don't know if you guys have palm trees in your neck of the woods, but we have them out here. And let me tell you, they show up in the middle of a sidewalk. If there's dirt in the crease between the joints and stuff, it will grow. And it will make everything ugly. That's just the nature of the palm tree. It will take root wherever it can. And so you have to be mindful of the degradation that's within you. You have to be mindful of the scarcity or the abundance that is within your soul that you're growing. Now, most people want the quick fix. All right? Most people want the quick fix. They want the lottery. They want the instant. They want the prize. And if you look at wealthy people generally don't do like these lottery scratchers. They're not looking for... Poor people do that. Poor people, every time I go in and get some gasoline, poor people will walk in and do scratchers. $10, $15 scratchers. I want 20 cards. or 20 tickets or whatever, however they're referred to as. I want this. And people spend $20 trying to get rich on these lottery tickets. Wealthy people don't do that. The people who have wealth, they don't do that. The people who have abundance within their soul, they don't do that. And the difference is because those who look for these quick fixes, these lottery fixes, they're only doing it because of the scarcity of abundance in their life. And so they're looking for the cheapest way, the quickest way to get the abundance into their life. And sometimes they can, sometimes they will. Sometimes you will be the $5,000 winner, sometimes you will be the $20,000 winner. But I guarantee you, these people, these poor people, just as soon as they get that check for $20,000, it's gone. They lose it. And the reason why they lose it is because they have scarcity within their soul. That's why. Because they have scarcity within their soul. So if that's what's within their soul, that will be the manifestation for them. Despite the $5,000 or $20,000 or $50,000 winning that they get. The quick winning, the quick fix. Despite all of that, they will lose it. Trust me. Trust me. Because poor people operate in a way where they don't love themselves, which is why they're poor. People in poverty do not love themselves, which is why they're experiencing the experience that they're experiencing. I told you recently that I've been accepting all these friend requests from people all over the world, and, I get these people from Africa, and, of course, they look at people from America as being wealthy, and they have money, and they have it all because of their idea of what America is and how we live here. Some of them have never been here before, but they have this idea as to what it means to live here, and we must be rich. And in comparison, from their perspective, we are just rich people here. I am considered a very wealthy man compared to people who are living in a hut in Africa. So I can see, for me, I have a 4-bedroom house, and it's just a 4-bedroom house. It is what it is. But someone from Africa, it's considered a mansion. So it just depends on the perspective, and I understand the perspective that they're coming from. But I've had a couple of people already ask me for money. And this one guy was asking me for money because he needs insurance so that he can drive his car and work and do deliveries to make money. So, but what I understand is that the manifestation that he's experiencing is based on his soul condition. Now, if I help this person, and the thing is, we've had conversation already, so I know where this person is in his soul condition. I know where his mindset is. And he's looking for the quick fix. He's looking for a rich person to bail him out. He's not looking to make it happen for himself. The motivation isn't for him to have a better experience. His motivation is to stop the suffering. That's the difference. That is the difference. The quick fix versus the desire to better yourself so that you have a better experience. not trying to make the pain go away. You know, people eat healthy. Some people eat healthy. Not all people eat healthy. Some people eat healthy to keep disease away. Some people eat healthy because they want to love themselves. The focus is different. The action is the same. This is why it's so important to understand the difference, to understand the intent behind the things that we do. So people who live in scarcity always have an intent to make the pain go away. So these people who do the lottery, these little scratcher things and stuff like that, they're looking for the quick fix to make the pain go away. They don't have abundance in their soul. They have scarcity in their soul, which is why they're experiencing the scarcity. And also the reason why they're reaching for the lottery or the quick fixes, so that the pain of the scarcity ceases. But you can never make that go away. The only way you can make that go away is, or I should say, you can never make that go away as long as you hold scarcity within your soul. The only way to stop that experience is to remove the scarcity and put in the feeling of abundance. Abundance must be part of your life. And here's the thing. I can just use my life as an example because, I mean, I'm not a millionaire, but I can tell you this. Where I am today is a completely different place than where I was as a child, where I was as a young, where I was as a teenager, and where I was as a young adult. When I first moved here, it was such a struggle when I moved to Los Angeles. And it was hard because, like, I was, I want to say, not this car, but I had, you know, my Nissan Maxima that I was still paying on, and my payments were nothing compared to what I'm paying on my car right now. I'm paying close to $700 a month on my car note, and I think back then it was like $340 or something, or $420. I can't remember. It was somewhere in that ballpark. And I remember I was 4 months behind. That's how hard it was. I was always worrying about how am I going to pay my car payment? How am I going to do this? How am I going to do that? Like, it was hard. It was so hard. I rented rooms. I rented a living room space, and my experiences were bad. I had this one person who was trying to move in on me, like sexually move in on me, and I was like, oh my God, I have to get out of here. And when I was refusing or rejecting the advances, they locked me out of the house with all my things in there. Like, all kinds of stuff was happening. I had car problems that would they seemed like they wouldn't go away. Like, and not just car problems, but I couldn't even pay for them. Like, I had to choose between eating and having a running car to get to work to make more money. Like, this was the worry and the stress that I was experiencing. This was the scarcity that I was experiencing. Just what, less than 16 years ago, or less than 16 years ago, that's what I was experiencing. So my life has changed a great deal. There's more abundance in my life, but my feeling, and that's what I mean, the feeling of scarcity and the feeling of abundance has changed. And so my mindset has changed. Now I have money lying all over the place. I have credit cards up the ass. It's different. Before, I couldn't even get a credit card. Like, that's how bad it was. I couldn't even get a credit card. I couldn't be approved for a credit card. Not even for a $500 credit card. I could not do that. I had to do that whole secure credit card thing. Like, that's how bad it was. Like, nobody would give me anything. That's how prevalent the scarcity was in my life. And so that's the difference. And I had to change. But I have a different feeling about money. I have a different feeling about abundance. I have a different feeling about things coming to me. Now I have a feeling that everything is gonna be fine. And not everything is going to work out, because there's a difference between everything is going to be fine and everything is going to work out. Because every time you look at it like everything is going to work out, there's something present that isn't worked out that you're saying will be worked out. Versus everything is going to be fine. Everything is fine. Everything is fine. And that's my feeling about it. Everything is fine. Everything is fine. Everything is good. Life is good. Do I pay out a lot in bills? Absolutely. I pay out a shitload of money in bills. But they're all paid, and I'm not worried about it. I think I said before, all my bills are on automatic pay, so I don't see my bills. I don't see any of my bills. Most people have bills that come in the mail. I don't see that. All my bills are all my bills are on electronic pay. So when they're due, the company just takes the money. But what I do get are these emails saying, "Thank you for your payment. Thank you for your payment. Thank you for your payment. Thank you for your payment." And let me tell you, when I get these emails, I don't always acknowledge it, but when I get these emails, I'm like, "Oh, it's paid. Oh, it's paid. Oh, it's paid. Oh, it's paid. It's paid. It's paid. It's paid." And guess what? It's paid. That's the difference. So before, I would get these bills in the mail, like, "Oh God, I gotta pay this." And here's the thing: I refuse to do automatic payment because I didn't want anybody taking out any money out of my account, because I had this feeling of scarcity. Meaning, I was fearful that someone was going to take money out of my account and there wasn't going to be enough in there. This is the feeling of scarcity. This is the mindset of poverty. This is the mindset of brokenness. You're fearful of not having enough. So you're fearful of someone reaching into your account and you not having enough to sustain what they're reaching in there to get. I don't have that feeling anymore. I have the feeling like I'm just living life. I'm focusing on life. I'm not focusing on bills. I'm just doing what I want to do. If I want to work, I work. If I want to sit on my ass, I sit on my ass. If I want to do something, I'll do something. The reason why I like driving for Uber and Lyft, or lately it's just Uber, is because I love driving. I just drove 46 miles to pick up a table. And the fun part about the whole thing was driving to Long Beach. Like, I was excited to leave the house, get in my car, and get on the freeway and drive. That's the feeling, that's the experience that I had. And so here's the difference between people who are wealthy and people who are not. People who are broke. People who have scarcity within their being. People who have scarcity within their being, they don't live life. Like, they don't experience life. Do you know why? Because they're governed by their mind. They're governed by the brokenness. Meaning they're governed by the mind, and the mind is always thinking. Meaning the mind is always focused on what dwells within their soul, because they're focused on the manifestation that the soul is bringing forth. So the soul is creating the manifestation in their life, and their mind is focused on that manifestation that they don't like. The brokenness, the poverty, the lack. That is their manifestation, and that's what they're focused on. And because they're focused on that, and it's not a good feeling, what happens is Sorry, I had to watch my speed, and I was wondering who was behind me. Anyway, so what was I? I think I said the difference. What was I talking about? So what happens? Oh, the mind. So what happens with someone who is experiencing the manifestation of their soul? Is they're always busy in the mind. They live in the mind. And so they're like, "Oh my gosh, am I going to have enough? Oh my gosh, am I going to have enough? Oh my gosh, am I going to have enough? Oh my gosh, I don't have enough. Oh my gosh, I don't have enough." And this is the thought that's connected to the feeling, that's recycled, and that becomes their belief. This is what I'm saying. And then we look for confirmation, and then you look for things like, okay, where's the bill? Where's the bill? When you go out and check the mail, these people are worried and terrified of what's going to be in the mailbox. And the reason why they're doing that is because they're looking for confirmation of the belief that they have, confirmation of the scarcity, confirmation of the lack, confirmation of the brokenness, confirmation of the poverty, confirmation. And this is what they're looking for. This is what they're looking for. Because like I said in the last video, how to feel worthy, I said we look to validate who we are. And that which dwells within our soul is who we are. So people who are wealthy look to confirm who they are. They're wealthy, they're abundance. They look for their abundance. They look for the check in the mail. Not the bill in the mail, the check in the mail. Poor people look for the bill in the mail because they're afraid to find one. Rich people or people who have wealth look for the check in the mail because they're confirming the abundance that they have. That's what they're doing. They're looking for a check. They're looking for a check. They're looking for a check. And it's not like they're looking for it because they're trying to make scarcity go away. They're looking for it because they're looking to add to the abundance. There's no fear. There's no lack present. It's just accepting, oh, what do I get today? What am I going to find today? What positivity am I going to find in my mailbox today? Is there positivity in that? They're looking for that. They're not looking for something to take the pain away. They're looking, it's almost like you're going outside and you have a garden, all right? You have a garden filled with roses, or I should say filled with shrubs that are flowers, flower shrubs. And you go out and you're like, oh, what am I going to see today? Am I going to see a bud? Am I going to see a bloom? Am I going to see a bud? Am I going to see a bloom? Because you know the shrub is there. All right? Because this is what dwells within you. So this is what you look for. And there's a happiness, a content that is within you. There is joy within you. There is pleasure within you. There's excitement within you. Versus the other person who has shrubs, and they go out with the feeling of wanting to see that so that they have something to focus on. So to take their mind off of the pain, to take their mind off of the scarcity, to take their mind off of the poverty. This is the difference. It's you're looking for it, but it's the intent behind it. It's always the intent behind it. Why are you doing it? Because why you're doing it will determine if you get it or not. And it will determine the experience. So the person who, and this is why, people who have abundance, they have these big houses and everything or whatever, and they have a beautiful garden, and the roses are outside or the shrubs are outside, and they're like, oh, I know I'm going to, benefit because they know it's already there. Versus the person who tries to plant stuff to make their area beautified because they're trying to use that as the focus because everything else that they're experiencing is lack, is scarcity, is poverty. So of course someone can be real poor and they plant some roses or a rose bush or a rose seed or something in their little back patio where there's a little dirt thing, or they may put it in a flower pot. But they're trying to beautify something because everything around them is of lack. Everything around them shows a and so they put the rose there to try to brighten it up. I need to brighten this place up. But people who have, let's say, a mansion, it's already bright. It's already beautiful. It's already desirable. And that's the difference. That is the difference. And so, of course, I'm using physical representations, but this is how you have to see your soul. Is your soul dark? This is why these people who are these new agers and these manifestations, and they want to try to, let's practice the law of attraction, and they try to make things happen. The only reason why they're trying to make things happen is because they need to beautify the darkness. They need to try to beautify the area that is darkness. The area that is dark. They need to put light. They need to put love in it because it's dark. And they don't like feeling like that. But they're rooted in scarcity. They're rooted in poverty. They're rooted in lack, which is why they have to try to beautify their area. I remember seeing this picture. It did not make any sense to me. But you have these people who are like, I'm an intuitive. I can read. I can give you a reading, $5. I can do a tarot card reading. I'm doing a deal right now. The first 5 are free, or the first 10 people who come to me, I'll give it to you for free. I understand why these people the real reason why these people are doing it. Number one is connection. It's connection. They want to connect. They want to prove to themselves and others, mainly it's others, that they have ability to do something. I have the ability to talk to what people call the dead, spirits, whatever you want to call them. They're still people who live here on earth. That's just what they are. But if you want to make them to be something grand, then make them be something grand if that's what your desire is. So, you know, they give these free readings. I'm giving free readings, 20 readings, happy holidays, this is what I'm giving to you. And they make it look like they're giving you something great, but when in actuality, they're actually asking for something. They're asking for you to see them, to see their ability. They're asking you to validate the gift that they have. Is it a gift to be able, well, we all have this, we all have that ability, or I should say we all have the potential to do that, but most people don't understand that. So the only people who have the ability to do that, and understand the only reason why that is because they come from a lineage of this abundance in that connection. So people who know how to connect to spirits, who know how to hear them, some of them know how to see the auras, some know how to do all these different things. This is only because they come from a lineage, meaning a lineage of abundance. Their souls, their ancestor souls, had abundance in this connection. There wasn't a lack in connection. There was an abundance in connection. In this way, and this is why they can do that. It all goes back to abundance, and it all goes back to scarcity. So that what you do not have, it's because you have scarcity rooted in that area. The things that you do have abundance in, it's because you have abundance rooted in that area. Understand, we have many trees planted within our soul. Many types of trees in different areas of our lives, and they show up and they manifest. Some people can manifest lattes because they have this feeling of abundance about lattes. Some people have an abundance, they receive money. Okay, so they have all this money coming to them, an abundance in money. Some people have an abundance of things, but they have scarcity in money. Meaning, some people will give them things, but they never have the money. Some people will always support them, but they can't generate that they can't generate money on their own, so they have to but they're able to manifest in a different way. So it just depends on where the lack is and where the abundance is. Understand that there's many, many, many areas that you can have lack and abundance in your life. It just depends on where it is. But understand, if you have a lack of family support, then it's because you have scarcity in family support. If you have, let's just say this, if you have a lack in family support, but you have an abundance of friendship support, then you have an abundance in this connection in this way. But you have scarcity in that connection towards the other direction, meaning the familiar direction. So it just depends on what it is. Some people can be very successful, meaning they can be accomplished in terms of having a degree. They can be smart, and people can see them as smart. People can see them as being intelligent people, but they have scarcity in money, meaning they can't generate the wealth. Like, they may be smart, they may know things. I'm one of these people where I have abundance in knowledge, I have abundance in understanding, but I have yet to master the abundance in financial wealth. It's coming, it's releasing slowly but surely. It's moving into the direction of more abundance, but it's because I'm very slow in removing the root that has scarcity present in my life in that area. So what I've been doing is, chipping away at it and chipping away at the roots little by little, but I haven't done it in a way or in a manner. I don't have complete abundance in that, meaning I don't have complete feeling of abundance in that area. But and I just use myself as an example, because even though I'm not where I would like to be, I'm not where I used to be, which tells me that there is progress being made. Now, I need to look at that progress. Now, the thing is, I've never really looked at it. Lately, I haven't been looking at my life in terms of wanting abundance. There's still some scarcity there, and there's still some thoughts that are because of the scarcity there that I need to recognize. And I haven't really recognized that because my focus lately has been on improving my soul condition, mainly looking at what has kept my soul so degraded. That's what I've been focusing on. Look how I've been harming myself, looking at how I've been hurting myself. That's what I've been working on. This is why things have slowly and gradually been moving in a more desired direction. Because I'm working on myself and on my soul and understanding my soul. And when I understand that I've been doing something that is unloving, I change it. I stop it. I'm like, I gotta stop that. I have to stop that. I have to stop judging people. I have to stop condemning people, because this is how I was learned to, or I was taught. This is how I was raised. You condemn those who do bad things. Now I understand that I can't do that. So I slowed down the karma. That's what's been happening. I slowed it down. Before you can get momentum going in the direction of abundance, you have to first stop the momentum of scarcity. Meaning, look, if I'm going here I'm traveling on the freeway, and I'm going the direction that I'm going in, and it's the wrong direction, I have to hit the brakes to stop the momentum and come to a complete halt. I must come to a complete halt before I can turn this car around and go the other way. And it's kind of like a train. Probably better to look at it like a train, because when you look at the car, then I can just turn the wheel and go the other way at the same momentum that I'm going in. But it's not like that. It's like being on a train track, and you must stop. The engine must stop in order to move the other direction. It must stop. It can't just get off the track and turn around. No, cannot do that. And that's how we have to look at our soul. We have to stop the momentum of scarcity. We have to stop the momentum of scarcity. And we have to. It's almost like, and you can do it if you want to look at it like, instead of looking at it like pumping your brakes, it's kind of like I don't know if you've seen trains, choo-choo. I don't know if you've seen trains where there's an engine in the front and an engine in the back, or engines in the front and engines in the back. And so what happens is, let's say the momentum is going you in one direction, but you want to go the other direction. You need to turn the engine on in the opposite direction. Let's say there are no brakes. There are brakes, you can stop doing it, but you want to be more loving to yourself. So what you want to do is turn on the other engine. Turn on love. Turn on positivity. Turn on abundance within your being. Focus on those things. Focus on those things, and you will surely see a slowing of momentum in the direction that you don't want to go. You'll see it slow down, and you'll get to a point where it'll come to a complete halt, where you're not doing anything to harm yourself anymore, and you start moving in the other direction. You start moving in the direction of love. You start moving in the direction of positivity. You start moving in the direction of abundance, and your life changes. Now, you can't look at yourself as one train. You have to look at your soul as having all kinds of trains within your soul. And each subject is its own subject, its own topic, where you have a feeling, and thoughts going, and they're all different, about different things, about how you look, about how much money, about abundance, about wealth, about your youth, about your health, about your connections with people. All of these different things are all going on in your soul. And you have to be mindful of them, and it's so easy to be mindful of them because they're all being manifested in your life. Brokenness is being manifested in your life. Lack is being manifested in your life. It's all being manifested. So it's right there front and center for you to see. Everything you see in your life is a direct reflection of what's within your soul. All the trains that are within your soul. You may have a train about a car. Your car may be raggedy as hell, falling apart, raggedy as hell. And that's your creation. That's your manifestation. But if that's all you can get is a used $500 car, or whatever kind of car, that's what you can get, then that's the extent of what you can get. But we must be mindful of this, because if you want something else and this is all you can get, then your soul is telling you where you are in scarcity and abundance in relation to that car. You dig? That's just one example, but there's many, because everyone's life is different. Some people can get the Mercedes and the BMW and the Range Rover and all these big cars, and even where I live, I don't live in an area where there's people are abundant, but some of them have that. Some of them have. I see Bentleys rolling around here. I even see people in a Rolls Royce. But when I see them, they're kind of all banged up. Just like the winnings of the lottery. They get it, but they can't keep it. When you get a brand new car and when you get a Rolls Royce or a Bentley, it's beautiful. It's like, whoa, look at that baby right there. And it's only beautiful in its pristine state. But when it's raggedy and run down, not so much. And this is what you have to look at. Where is there lack in your life, and where is there abundance in your life? Because you may get it thinking you're abundant. When that shit start looking raggedy, you have lack. A lack of beauty. A lack of abundance. You hear? You hear me? All right, everybody, that's it. That's Saturday. That's 51 minutes too long. So I will talk to you guys later. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday. And I'll talk to you guys later. All right. Bye now.